Jah, Rastafari, another video with the praise. Thank for life and the mighty life giver. Thank for health and strength. Thank for our President Gordon King, King Emmanuel Charles Edwards. Thank for Marcus Messiah Garvey. And pray Haile Selassie, our King. Yes, let's get straight into it. They already been in the morning long time, priest. You know, you could go on YouTube, you could see videos of the moon, all this kind of stuff. They got space and stations on the moon, and they even say, they have other civilizations living on the moon. It's just all about the moon. Why is this a big issue, priest? Why you keep talking about this moon landing? In the book of Enoch, explains the heavens and its luminaries and its functions and the portals and how the sun functions and how the moon functions, where the moon get its light from, where the sun get its light from. Now, the book of Enoch was removed from the Bible, from the King James Version. And this was important because they wanted to move the book of Enoch from the Bible because it describes the heaven. It teaches you what's up in the heavens, in the sky, So they removed the book of Enoch so they could teach, their new heaven, that they created, which is different than how the book of Enoch described the heavens. For example, the book of Enoch says that, the sun has a chamber and it comes out of a portal and it goes back into a portal, at the end of the day, but so much that I have like common sense questions, it's a common sense channel, how we do it. We try to keep it simple, try to keep it real, to come to a truth. And I had certain questions about, even still today, about NASA and their moon landing. If they can prove that they land on this moon, then they basically could, prove that their universe exists. The universe written in the book of Enoch is totally different than the universe spoken of by NASA and Elon Musk and all these United Nations. Now, the priest had a question for the moon landing, okay? And some of the stuff that still goes on in my heavens is that, I see the rocket leave Earth, and the fire in it going up into space. I understand that, but how did they land on the moon? The moon, according to them, it's a rugged terrain, and in order for a plane, even a plane to land, it needs a very kind of smooth surface. A plane cannot land on a jagged rocky surface. You would destroy the landing gear. A basic pilot know these things, that, a plane can't even basically land in sand because it's too soft. It's not strong enough to hold the weight of a craft. So it actually would destroy the landing gear. So in order for them to land on the moon would have to be like an airport. made out of, a smooth, very extremely smooth surface, for them to land. And some may argue that, it just don't even really make a lot of sense how they trying to say that they land on this moon. There's no airport on the moon, so you cannot land a plane. Well, they say they use thrusters, things that make them, I don't know, able to just float. But there's a lot of questions. If, the plane, if their spaceship heading to the moon, face on, and they want to use thrusters, they'll have to turn the spaceship around and land upside down because the engine is in the back of the plane. So, it's just no way they could have landed on the moon. It's just no way. There's no airport there. There's no smooth surface, for a plane to land, with a landing gear, and they even argue, my next question was how they even got off the moon, just like everybody else asking. There's no airport, so how did you get off the moon? Did they get the space shuttle to stand back up and then they shoot off the moon? But I mean, how does this happen? How does 5 people get a space shuttle to stand up and shoot off into space? It just, and this is very important. People will be like, Priest, a lot of us know they never been to the moon, but yet the whole world is still functioning off of this solar system that they created, that the earth is a crust and we spinning, and you shoot off the earth and the moon and the sun out there running off in the universe. They have religions, the whole Kemetic religion, the whole Christian religion, the Islam religion. Most of these religions are based on, a different universe than what is spoken of in the book of Enoch. In the book of Enoch, the earth is the center of the universe. And everything in the heavens was made to illuminate the earth. That's it. All the heavenly bodies, the stars, the moon, and the sun, is only 3 heavenly bodies spoken of per se that shine light upon the earth. Illuminants, that's the stars, the moon, and the sun. You see? And all of these were placed in the heavens at set times to control light and to control seasons and all these things. So these things were created to service the earth, you see? But according to like NASA and the modern day fictional science, they saying that the earth is a part of the solar system. The sun is the center of this galaxy or universe. So all these planets are functioning around the sun. You see, and that's Kemetic. The Kemetic people, that's why they worship the sun, Amun-Ra. That's why the Christians worship the sun. You see, with the 12th-month birth of the sun, December 25th, the birth of their Jesus, white Jesus Christ, which is actually the birth of the sun, Amun-Ra. It's all sun worship. This is very important. That's why they say they've been to the moon, because they're trying to show the world that their solar system, their solar worship is true. You see, that the galaxy we live in is, the sun is the center of the galaxy. And according to the book of Enoch, even in the book of Genesis, that is not the truth. Even in the book of Genesis, it says God moved across the waters. Yeah, and he created Zion and earth, and then he placed the sun and the moon in the heavens. to give night and day and seasons. The book of Genesis say this. Same that way. The book of Enoch, a book outside of the Bible that they take out, but was still a part of the ancient text. The book of Enoch says the same thing. When the earth was created, the sun, the moon, the stars was set up there to illuminate earth. You see, why is this important? Even their alien concept, that aliens coming from different galaxies and planets, and that's inconsistent with the book of Enoch. The book of Enoch said there are heavenly. Okay, we're back. Give thanks. I thought I would have had to end the stream. We lost the internet momentarily. Pardon for the technical difficulties. So this is very important, royal family, that we understand what's really happening. I would advise everyone to go read the book of Enoch, because even a lot of events that are happening in the heavens, like people seeing strange movements, strange lights, strange vehicles, all these things are already written in the book of Enoch. It shows of these heavenly beings moving within these realms, and it's a part of our Bible, that, they wanted to take away from us, that we don't know of these things. The book of Enoch even speak in the last days. It says that the sun, when the sun set in the west, it's going to disobey its natural lighting. And it's going to be brighter, like it'll already be dark, and you still could see the sun setting in the west because of its great luminance. You see, the book of Enoch even prophesied the sun heating up, to a point where it's scorching earth and making man to sweat extreme. You see, so the book of Enoch is just not only teaching us about the stars and about the moon and the sun, but it's teaching us about its prophetic movements. You see, seems that way. The sun and the moon and the stars, they can go out of course in the last times. This is prophesied by the book of Enoch. You see? So same that way. It's also prophesied in the Bible, where the Bible says the sun shall be dark and moon shall turn to blood. You know what I mean? It's like, so this is important for us to look deeper into what's being thrown at us. I would not deny that Babylon have something called satellites, which is tech, like high-tech drones. They shoot up into the heavens, with rockets, and then they use the drone system, to hover over the land so they could give you things like internet and stuff. But they are not out of the earth. They're not like in space like they're trying to make us think. Everything is under the waters. There's waters above, there's waters beneath. So the stars, the moon, and the sun, they under the waters. Everything is within the waters. You see, so when they shooting satellites, they just shooting satellites high above, the atmosphere of the earth. And that picture what they showing us, they never show us a real picture of the earth. The brethren, the scientist was asked why we never see stars, when they, say they on the moon, why we can't see no stars. They say because of the sun. Or why you just don't take the picture when it's night. Because on the moon you have day and night. There's points where the sun is even behind the moon. You know what I mean? What we call a solar eclipse. You know what I mean? Or however they want to put it, sometimes the sun and the moon cross. So you got to be able to see some stars. But over the years, people, that debunk NASA going to the moon, they still pushing this agenda. United Nations still saying they going to the moon. Just the other day, they had a report say Russia tried to get to the south end of the moon and they crashed. You know, for I, Russia, that's probably the first time they ever probably try to get to the moon. And they crashed because there's nowhere to land. You know, and, you know, they just get around to this technology where they could use, really say they're using trust. Trust is like, which could lift a plane up and, you know, allow it to sit down and, you know, this modern technology. They probably just trying to get there, but, you know, it's amazing how NASA and this whole world leaders has lied to the masses of population. United Nations was not created to actually protect us, but it was created for them to manipulate the masses, to come together as nations and manipulate the people. And you say, but that ain't sound right. Why would all the nations of the world, Russia, China, America, India, they all can't be lying? All of them saying they've been to the moon and all of them lying? You know, in the book of Psalms say, you know, Psalms say, you see the rulers and the kings of the earth take counsel together against the Lord and his anointed, saying, let's cast away the cord from us. So these people collectively come together to destroy the African consciousness, which is taught in the book of Enoch. You see? And they come to bring us their concept. By the first time they say they've been to the moon in the early 1900s, you know, we're supposed to investigate that as humans. We're supposed to ask America, how did you land on the moon? There's no airport there. But yet when the space shuttle came back to Earth, it landed on a smooth airport. You know, so yeah, how did you land on the moon if there's no airport? You know, how did the plane land? You know, they didn't return to Earth in a spaceship. You know, I remember seeing the clip. I remember seeing the video. You know, when they land back to Earth, they land in a white space shuttle, you know, plane that land on the, and everybody was clapping. You know, that's how I remember. I remember them coming back to Earth and, you know, coming down, you know, with thrusters and fire and all of that. No, I see a plane that came and it landed, you know, and we still could go watch the video again. So how did this plane take off the moon? How did this plane land on the moon? You know, we never asked them these questions. You know, they were shooting towards the moon. Just like this. You're shooting towards the moon from Earth. You know, they have to turn the plane sideways now and land the plane where? I mean, where's all this fuel coming from to do all of this? You know, because they need fuel to take off. Once they reach the moon, you know, you land. I don't know how they land, you know, but when it's time to take off, because you remember you just made a long travel. You just traveled from Earth, hundreds of thousands of miles. I just trying to be realistic here. I mean, space travel may be different according to them, but, you know, I don't care how different it is. I mean, a basic vehicle, any vehicle created on Earth needs fuel to move around, to go places, especially hundreds of thousands of miles. So when they reach the moon, you know, they somehow land on the moon. Once they land on the moon, they jump out in this little machine and drop their little flag and jump back in the plane, crank it up, and then what? Take back off the airport? You know? Yeah, I mean, I have to do some more research, Royal Family. It must be something I'm missing because, like I say, common sense. you know. So from NASA time, from the 1900s, they made this big moon landing. And that was the beginning of the time for them to take over the minds of the people and to switch the whole concept of the heavens. They've been trying to do it from thousands of years ago. The Bible says man will wish to change God's times and his laws, his times, how time is set. Time is set by the moon and the sun, the stars. So they will to change the time. In the book of Enoch speaks of how the sun and the moon and the stars can be set up. It can shorten the days, make the days shorter. How is that even possible that the book of Enoch knows exactly, you know, how the sun and the moon, they line up to allow the days to be shorter? And everybody can look around and know, say the days are shorter. The days are shortened. Time is moving faster because of how the sun, the moon, and how these the constellations, they set everything we know as time. But the evil world, they trying to say now they have a different time now. You know, yeah, they have a different system, what they call a solar system. You know, yeah, and we evolving around the sun and we spinning 1,000 miles per hour. All of this is their science. You know, this is contradictory to the book of Enoch. It's almost like everything in the Bible, that the Bible gives a description of life, Babylon is the exact opposite. You see, Enoch speaks of, you know, a total different universe than what we learn in the textbooks, what we learn in the universities, what we learn off of YouTube and Google. You know, what they teach us, NASA and Elon Musk, they saying what's up in the heavens. You see? People say, well, because of modern technology, we can see these things we never could have seen. But I trying to show ones and ones. Can you even trust the modern technology? Because they say they've been to the moon, you know, back in the day, but they can't prove it. I mean, it just, they can't explain to the people how they did it. You see, they just give people short answers, and, you know, if you Google it, you'll see that it's not even a real reputable answer. You say you land on the moon with thrusters, but then now you take off with thrusters, then you land on Earth on wheels, on an airport. You know, it's just, I mean, where you get all this fuel? You know, you left in the smallest part of the whole shuttle. Where do you get the fuel from? You know? So, yes, royal family, we have to consider, you know, we have to consider what's going on here. You know, if we don't go study the book of Enoch, if we don't go find out what's really happening in our universe, yeah, Babylon is going to be able to trick you and, you know, scare you out and fear you out and, yeah, have you in a fictitious, you know, understanding of the world you live in. You know, with the Bible and the book of Enoch, even our ancients, you know, yeah, you can see that, yeah, the world is not what they telling us. The universe is not what they telling us. You know, they say the moon gets its light from the sun, and in the book of Enoch, that is not true. Because the book of Enoch says when the sun is on the backside, where it can't shine on the moon still shines a full light. The book of Enoch says the sun has a light that is 7 times brighter than the moon from its creation. It was created to have a brighter light than the light of the moon. Even many, you know, what they'll call us conspirator scientists say, you know, the moon has a different light than the light of the sun. The sun does shine on the moon at some point, because of its, but the moon has its own individual light. Is a lesser light, the Bible call it. The Bible said the sun gave a greater light and the moon gave a lesser light in the book of Genesis. You see, so even in the book they took out in Enoch, the book of Enoch, what they took out, and the Bible that they gave us is still the same consistent message. That's what the emperor was saying. Even though they took the book of Enoch out, the book of Genesis still have an account of the creation story, just as the book of Enoch have a detailed description of the creation story. That's why they took the book of Enoch out, because it's detailed. It tell you exactly what's above us and how they function and who owns it and who rules it. You see? So they took that out because the book of Genesis just give you kind of a smaller description. In the beginning, God created the heaven and earth, and he put the sun and the moon, that's it. 6 days and 7 days rest. But the book of Enoch, it breaks down everything that happened. Even the fallen stars. Oh, a lot of stuff in there. Marcus say read good books. This is a short live video. I just wanted to set the stage for us to think. We got to start to come about to think about what we want to really, accept as true, because the world is a lie. The world is a world of deception, magicians, and Satan come to deceive the world. About what? About where you live and your universe and your sun and your moon and your stars and your rivers and your waters. Satan wants to deceive you. So you would think it's this, but it's actually that. That's what deception is. Deception is when you're telling someone it's this, but it's actually that. So we as children of God, we cannot follow after Satan's definition of what life and what the universe is. We got to be careful when we listening to Satan, which is these organizations, funded by the wealthy Illuminati and the Roman Catholic Church. These people are not out there to discover the truth. These people are not funded and come together to fund these things to give us truth. These people come to deceive the children of God. That's why the Bible says we have to separate ourselves from the world, from their system, from their, you have to know them. Just look at this group of people. Are these people godly? Is the United Nations a group of godly people come together? No, these wicked nations, the Bible call them. The Amorites, the Jebusites, the Hittites, these people are the Philistines and the Canaanites, and these people never love God. So when they come together as nations, even the emperor prove it. The emperor say, look, these people are allowing Italy to attack a small nation. This is supposed to be the Roman Catholic Church, Italy, the Christian nation, Mussolini and the Pope come together as a Christian nation, proclaimed and attack Ethiopia. But was another Christian nation. So the Christian come attack the true Christ followers. So we have to understand the politics of the world. How they manipulating us. A lot of the saints are gonna be deceived, and they're not really gonna be able to follow the truth, because when you get into sun worship, when you get into the solar system, the sun being the center of the universe, then the whole concept of God has changed. You're dealing with a different God. Because the God of Israel, the God of the Bible, the God of the book of Enoch, he created a universe. Realistic one. But the world outside the Bible, outside the book of Enoch, these people who don't believe in the Bible, that don't approve the book of Enoch, they don't believe in the God of the Bible, the God of Israel. These people have their own universe they create. You got to understand this. So when you go and you go study the Sumerians, or you go study, the Anukai, or you go study any of these people, the book of Enoch can tell you the Anukai and these people, they fallen angels, they liars, they deceivers. They come to deceive the world and make the world what is not. Make you think you live in a world that you actually don't live in. They have a movie called The Matrix. The Matrix, that's what people in Babylon live in. People in Babylon live in the Matrix. You see? Let me go through it quickly. I can show you the Matrix. You got God world, then you got Satan world. I gotta get a book that I wrote this stuff down right quick. Okay. Yeah, we went from, now you're gonna see why this moon landing, all this stuff is so important. In God world, we got trees, natural trees, forestry, things that grow natural from the earth. You don't have to plant it, you don't have to water it, you don't have to do nothing to it. It's just natural trees. In the Matrix, the world they created, you got, I can do this in another video. I ain't get too deep into that, because I want to name another video The Matrix. So I just can seal this up because I wanted to open up one's mind to go and look into the stuff. Why would the world come together and, from them times saying they got into the moon, but they ain't explaining to the people, to the average person, like, the average person don't even too much care, to even research this stuff. People just see things on TV and they, yeah, we've been to the moon, but that's a great deception. It's nothing to take lightly, especially as the Rastafarian community. Because now I see a lot of Rasta man and a lot of Rasta woman, they going into this cometology, they going into this solar system, where the sun is the center of the universe. But the sun don't have no water. So where does the universe get water from? And the earth is the only planet that has water, as known, in real time, where humans see with their real eyes and drink with their real lips. Because they may see water on other planets, but they don't even know if you could drink it. The only drinkable human water that we could bathe in is right on earth. It's not on the sun. So how could the sun have created the earth? If the sun don't have no water, where does the water come from? Is anyone that knows basic chemistry knows that in order for you to have fire, what's on the sun is the absence of oxygen. Yeah, fire consumes the oxygen. Yeah, and that's how you end up getting fire. If you put oxygen with the hydrogen, it turns to water and it will out the fire. You throw water on the fire, it's because you're throwing oxygen on the fire. You see? Combustion, that's basic concept of combustion. If you put oxygen into a chamber and fire is lit, it comes out as carbon monoxide because you remove the oxygen. So the sun could never make the earth because the sun don't have no oxygen. Yeah, it burns off our oxygen. The oxygen that is given from the earth that rises, that's what the sun burns off. When it meets the atmosphere of earth, the oxygen in the earth makes the sun burn. That's why the sun can burn forever as long as the earth produce oxygen. You see. So yeah, we really need a black college, a Bible black college, and when I say we have the Ethiopia Africa Black International Congress, we have our church, which is a schoolroom, same said way, but on a Marcus Garvey level, we need a building, for a university for black minds, righteous minds, black righteous minds to come together, and we need to see the truth. Not what they telling us, because they telling us all kind of things. Yeah, they telling us a lot of things, but it's fictional. Yeah, it's their illuminated world. It's the world they created. But there is a world that we live in before the Matrix, before these things they telling us, that they can't prove. You see, they speak of gravity. You ask them why the water just don't fall at the ocean. If the world is a ball, what happened to water to the bottom? Why it don't drain out? The water to the top, why it just don't drain down like a river down the sides of the world? I mean, how does the river flow up if the river's to the bottom of the earth? What makes a river flow up? Everybody know no water in the world flows up. You can't flow up. So if you have a river to the bottom of the earth, this ball, you have a ball here. This the planet. They say we live on a ball. So you got Canada, Russia, you got the North Pole, and then you got the South Pole. In South America, the river can't run up. No river could run up. I mean, I just don't even... It's impossible to understand what they're saying. That's why most people, they just listen to what these people say. NASA, they just take it and swallow it. Because for people to actually sit down and figure out what they're saying, the average human being could, hardly read a book. They can't read, much less to try to comprehend, what they're being told. So a lot of people just run with the world hook, line, and sinker. And plus, the United Nations, when they see all these leaders come together, they automatically think it's for the good of humanity. Or it's got to be for some good for humanity. But according to the emperor, when he visit United Nations, the emperor say, y'all trampling your own laws. Y'all disregarding your own articles. In other words, the king was saying, y'all fake. Y'all fake. Y'all is nothing what y'all say y'all is. Y'all don't carry out none of the articles that y'all say y'all created. So, what y'all doing? So the emperor show us that the United Nations, all that smiling, shaking hand, that's not for humanity. That's a secret society of chosen elected presidents. Every country in this world, has chosen elected presidents that are part of this illuminated people, this Freemason society. All the presidents in America is one family. They all descendants of King John. And King John is a descendant of a demon entity. So just a lot you have to know when you talking about United Nations leaders, and these leaders, a lot of them is Satan direct descendant, participating and a part of this big illusion. So as we can see right now, the United Nations is shattering. Because they can't cling. They can't, they lying, and there's no truthfulness. There's no, yeah. So you have NATO, which is a part of United Nations. You have BRICS, which is a part of United Nations. United Nations fighting within themselves because the lies and the illusion and the colonial deception they've been controlling the world with is falling apart. You know. So yes, Royal family, do some more research. I have to keep bringing this topic forward, you know, so I and them could get on track. You know, I give ones and ones the resources. The Book of Enoch is one of the greatest resources I've found so far if you want to find out about the universe. People say Kemet. No, Kemet Egypt came to create this matrix of the heavens. Yeah, they created a matrix. Yeah, but the original earth creation, yeah, is Ethiopian. Yeah, it's not Kemetic. You see, or Abyssinian, you know, or Kibbilin, you know. Yeah, everything started in Ethiopia, the great city on the side of the north side of Ethiopia. Yeah, that's where the first gods come down. The first god and goddess come in flesh. Yeah, and create all these things. Create themselves a goodie and create the earth for them to live in. Then they create the sun, the moon, and the stars to control creation. You know, then the devil come later and say, no, the sun made us all. We make from the sun. Black again, Royal family. Just another video with the praise. Love, love, love. Bless yourself. Don't stress up yourself. More life, and I amen. Just another video with the praise. Love, love, love.